How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Chuusotsu. And last time we were here, we got to go to the beach. It was a lovely, lovely time. We got to see some potential kind of synchronization bonding going on. Not perfectly, but kind of okay. Until Arara kind of called Aure out and pointed out that she just runs away from her problems constantly. It's like all she does. And then we got some really interesting, heartbreaking insight into Aure's into her past and like the sickness and like how she reacted to the sickness and how the sickness wasn't even really what did her in. It was the fact that she could not bring herself to go back to her normal life. Like she could have, but she failed because she was so much happier not having to worry about it. Oh man, it just sucks, you know. It's a crappy situation, and it's like I think all of us eventually get to find ourselves in pits and holes of some kind that we have to claw out of, and it's just unfortunate to even imagine something like this, especially something that's so devastating for her future, happening when she was so young. So maybe this will finally be the time when she can kind of come around and kind of stop truly running away, because she's been saying that she wants to stop running away, so she's like stopped herself from going to the rooftop, but she keeps running away. She just runs away in different ways now. So I'll see what happens. I guess she like kind of lost consciousness as well. I don't know if she just wasn't eating, got too cold or what, and a hooded figure apparently saved her, whatever that was all about. So maybe we'll get some insights here. So here we are, beyond her clouded vision. Aww. Interesting. So I've never had rice porridge before. I wonder what it's like. Yeah, you're like, do you need to go to a hospital? Oh yeah, didn't she like have a breathing episode too? Like, she's cured, but I don't think she's actually cured. She felt something cold on her forehead. A wet towel had seemingly been placed on it. She muttered to herself while wringing out a new towel. It flitted across the back of Aura's mind. Her life at the hospital, and the emotional vulnerability that followed. Come on, Arara, you can do it. With a shudder, her vision grew even blurrier than before. Tears. They simply kept trickling forth even after she closed her eyes. Softly, gently, she felt the wet towel being pressed against the corner of her eyes. She searched her mind and remembered the warmth of her mother when she was hospitalized. She could feel the warmth of people through the cold towel. And...
Arara.
Yeah, they're there for you. Weirdly, she knew. She understood. She finally did. She could now understand. She could now say it. Kariro and Arara were not just part of the background. They were most definitely not. They were the first people to become her equals. What was the term for people like that? And how would one interact with them? Now she understood. She kind of is! Might not be her fault, but she is.
手紙のことだって、相手の態度や気分に委ねちゃいけなかったのに。
I know.
なんでこんなに頭悪いの？
Don't ask, do. Don't you make a choice and you take a step. You have to, no matter how often you fall, you have an opportunity to rise up and become better. You don't just keep lying down in the dirt and accepting that that's just where you're supposed to be. She felt resentful. Not herself for being powerless without a seal, but her newfound feelings toward people and her inability to interact with others. She couldn't help but feel resentful toward them. Aww. Despite being awake, Arara couldn't get up. Eventually, she fell asleep in the midst of comfort. Several hours later, upon waking, she sat up. She felt something heavy against her thighs. Aww. When she tried to touch her, Kodiro gently pressed a finger against Arara's mouth. Arara slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Arara. Dang. Arara is a gem. She's crazy. She's a frickin' gem, isn't she? She is quickly becoming my favorite character. Beach at night. I climbed up the seawall, leaving footprints in the sand.
体の方は大丈夫そうだね。あ、はい。おかげさまで。おかゆ作ったから後で食べてね。味見はしたけど。
She mumbled a little. Aure looked down at the beach below for them for a moment, then used the momentum to look back at Kodiro.
看病ありがとうございました。看病って言っても、
Yeah.
親切な人が倒れてるアルエを見つけてくれてね。そこで見てもらったんだけど、日射病と疲れが原因だろうって。アルエ、あんまりご飯食べてなかったし。あ、そうですか。ただでさえ体弱々なのにダメですね、私。アルエ、体弱いの？まあ、はい。
She hadn't told Kodiro or Arara about her past. She didn't want to talk about things she wanted to erase.
そんなことより、ハチスカさんにはごめんなさいしなくちゃいけ
Just
ません。
running away again.
せっかく一緒に一生懸命考えてくれたのに、手紙渡せてないし。
Arara, you are both charming and frustrating beyond belief.
そうだね。
Somewhere in the faraway sky, a seabird cried out. The sound of the sea wouldn't abate, so Arara continued without pause.
ボーリング場の前でのこと、反省してます。私ばっかり一生懸命になって、藤崎さんの方は平気な顔してるもんだから、あの子のことが理解できないって勝手に一人で苛立っちゃいました。アルエの立場になったらそう思っても仕方ないよ。でも反省です。たとえ温度差があっても謝らなくちゃいけないことには変わりないのに。
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Come on, let's all say it together. Yes, you should.
多分ですけど、あの子心から信じて欲しかったんだと思います。世界統括者、自分のしてることバカにされたくなかったんだと思うんです。
Of course she didn't.
だって私だって自分の描いた漫画を2人に読んでもらった時、笑われたらきっと泣いちゃってました。私はそんなことしないよ。もちろんアララも。分かってます。ただの例えですけど、私はそれをしちゃいました。
Yeah.
最初に藤崎さんに会った時、あの子の言うことを信じたふりして、その後も課題やってほしさに適当に合わせたりして、
Of course, that was kind of
心
cool
の中で
because...
ずっとキモいってバカにしてました。
But it's really interesting because now we have context. That makes a lot of sense. This is good character development, by the way. Take notes if you're a writer. Because we saw the way Arara saw Arara, and then we were able to witness why, but in a contextually safe situation. It was really good at showing us rather than telling us, and it kind of tells us because it did a flashback per se, but the way it placed the flashback as a reaction more to Arara's feelings rather than a situational context, so that we know what's going on. But instead, we kind of see Arara rediscover something about her past, and in the same time, we learn a little bit more about her. That's a really good way of doing it because, like, it's not oversaturating and it's not monologuing. It's more about character reflection and learning through that viewpoint. It's really powerful. And then we see with Aure here, like, she still has her issues, but she's kind of starting to finally see beyond her disgust. But the disgust didn't come because she thinks Arara is disgusting or crazy, actually. She does kind of think that, but she's truly angry at herself because she allowed herself to get sucked into an alternate world effectively, convincing herself that she was too ill, and allowing that lie to precipitate and draw so much financial burden onto her family, and eventually making it so she could not continue in society. She hates that she did that to herself and to her family. And to see Arara doing something that reminds her of that's what she really hates. It's very similar to homophobia, actually. They've been some pretty good statistics that talk about the people who are often most vehemently opposed to homosexuality, those who are very outspoken against it, who fight against it, who might even get violent over it and attack people who have different sexuality than is common, often are fighting against something about themselves that they recognize in somebody else. Perhaps it's either like partially a fear of the fact that they might become like that person if they were to truly be honest with themselves and if they lash out, or what I think is even more likely is they have been taught and believed and raised or by society or religion or something that the way that they feel is wrong and unnatural, and then to see somebody who lives a lifestyle based off an urge that they've been suppressing their whole life because they've been told it's wrong. There's an innate anger that builds up at that kind of a reaction. That kind of a how dare they live that way, how dare they like frivolously act on the way that they want rather than suppressing it like I was forced to, and like that subconsciously builds up an anger and resentment. It's amazing to know though that that's a real psychological thing that happens. And I think Arara has been going through that. I think I mentioned this in a previous episode too, but I really am starting to see it. Like, yeah, this is really the problem here. It's not Arara, it's Arara's past. But then she stumbled upon it. Arara's passion, her determination, her black research notebook.
何が大切かなんてその人次第なのに、相手の気持ちも考えないで信じてるわけないじゃないですか。目を覚ましてくださいよって言っちゃいました。
Yeah, you finally understand she's been the jerk the whole time.
バカだな、私。ネットの中だけだよ、そんなこと言う人なんて。これから渡せばいいと思う。まだ間に合うよ。でも、課題の期限は明日だから。
Screw the assignment.
あるね。向き合わなくちゃ。
Face it.
離れ離れになるからなんて、もう二度と会えなくなったとしても、伝えたいことを隠したままでいたら、
Yeah.
私にはそういう経験があるんだ。
Ooh, hints to Kodiro's past.
ハチスカさん。
Kodiro hopped down from the seawall.
させたくないな。アルエたちにそんな思いは。やめてくださいよ。泣いちゃいそうですよ。ごめんね。でも、心からそう思うから。
She looked up at Arara, her black hair gently glistening.
最初に時間が戻った日、アルエはホロに言ったよね。哲学を知れば人生が良くなるなら、中卒にもわかるように言ってくださいよっ
Yeah.
私もアルエに同意する。だって、どんなに伝えたいことでも、相手に伝えようっていう意志がなくちゃ。哲学って、私はよくわからないけど、中卒とか、頭のいい悪いは関係なくて、きっと、わかりたいって思う人が努力して、哲学者の世界に追いついていくようなものなんだと思う。
That's a good that whole block of text right there is really good. But I love that ending. Like I think the people who strive to understand are the ones that work hard and chase after the world of philosophers. I've got a friend I've been talking to recently, just about philosophical stuff, just purpose of life, way things work, how people work, even afterlife stuff. I get into like the religious philosophy type stuff, just because we both have very different, like we both come from a similar background, but we both have also got some unique ways of looking at the world that a lot of other people that we run into circles with probably wouldn't understand, or might even like be angry or confused about. I don't know how to explain it. It's something I think about a lot. I think about that kind of stuff like a lot, because there's a lot of things about religion that both makes sense and doesn't make sense. And long story short, I feel like there's a reason it's here, and there's a reason the thing I've gone through and experienced the things I've experienced, but I'm not sure what that quite is at 100%. Because I feel like there's something not missing, but like there are holes. There's just holes and stuff, and I feel like I'm constantly needing to search and find more information, more understanding, just about anything really. And this friend of mine's also doing something similar, and we had recently connected after not talking for a while, and so we've just been chatting and talking about this back and forth. And so it's really kind of funny now to be thinking around the same lines in this game. I never really thought that those would coincide, that the trains of thought would be so parallel. We'll see if this game can actually help maybe coax out more ideas and inspiration from myself, which is kind of cool. Visual novels help you grow in very unique ways when written correctly, and I just didn't know that this one would be doing that so quickly. So, good on you, Studio Beast. Thank you.
アルエが哲学者の立場を取るなら、きっと、あの手紙だって、哲学と変わらなくなっちゃうよ。
Yeah.
だからね、やっぱりアルエの気持ちは、伝えたい本人に言わなくちゃ。
And with that, she turned around and walked away. Unable to simply watch her go, Arara spoke up.
ありがとうございました。
In the loudest voice she could muster. Hearing those words of gratitude, Kotaro turned around.
気にしないで。友達でしょ。
Aw, yeah, there's the word. Friends.
友達?
Forever. For all eternity, she never expected herself to establish any connection with the word. Friends. She wasn't an imaginary character. She was a physical being with a physical human voice. And with that voice, she'd uttered the word friends. Directed at Arara. Returning to her senses, she tried to call out to Kotaro. However, she had already left the trail of footsteps leading back to the lodge. Her beach sandals left straightforward footprints in the sand. As Aure wallowed in the aftermath of those unexpected words, she heaved a sigh into the starry sky above, thinking that her night sitting alone on the seawall was going to be quite long. Looking back down at the beach, she gulped upon realizing that there was another set of footprints mixed in with theirs. Oh! Come on! Do it!
隣に座っても。はい、どうぞ。
Whoa! Whoa, that's a really interesting angle to see them from. Like, they look so different. Especially her. What the heck? Her nose is tiny. Well, I guess it's anime drawing, but still. It's like, she's got quite a neck. Okay, here's the thing. They look way more human right now than normally. I don't know why to explain that. I don't know how that works. But they just do. But that kind of brings a lot of emphasis to the stuff that's not quite normal, like the anime characterization of eyes, and it just kind of makes them pop. It's a little like, whoa, hi. 123.
開幕ダジャレってどうなんですかそれ。
月が綺麗だからエスプリを効かそうと思って。体の方はもう平気です。
はい、ご心配おかけしました。
そうですか。
She exhaled a sigh of relief, then suddenly tried to restore her posture and...
アルエさんは鍛え方がなってないからそうなる。まったくどうして虚弱なアルエさんにサイコテイムが効かないか不思議でならない。
まあそれを言われても私にも答えられないですが。
The conversation came to a standstill. They immediately ran out of things to talk about. Yeah, to talk! Well, not quite. If they tried, they could come up with something. Says Aura's greatest problem. A problem involving a girl of the same stature as her. Oh, geez, look at that face.
なんです？
You both so desperately want to talk to each other. Come on! I don't do that as much as other people do. I'll definitely flub a word here or there, but I've talked to people who do that. I'm so sorry. It's gotta be, I don't know. Words just come to me. They just always have. And if I get nervous, I tend to talk faster and I tend to talk more.
緊張して変声が出そうになる。アルエが哲学者の立場を取るなら、きっとあの手紙だって哲学と変わらなくなっちゃうよ。だからね、やっぱりアルエの気持ちは伝えたい本人に言わなくちゃ。
Kodiro, you are so simple yet so wise. She firmly balled her hands in the fist.
ちょっとここで待っててください。
She jumped down.
わっと。
She lost her balance. Using her hands to protect her body from the fall, she kicked off a sandblock and ran off. She returned to the lodge. With much haste, she had to hurry. Before her determination waned. Yes, go, girl, go! Before her heart would be dominated by the rooftop. Her bag, her letter, and then... Kodiro was holding a sealed B4-sized envelope. Aure stopped and ran in place. Quickly before I disintegrate to trash! Go! Like a baton being passed, it traveled from Kodiro's hand to Arara's. She ran back to the seawall with her feet occasionally getting caught up in the sand.
未だかつてないほど奇妙なアルエさん。
Arara, that's rich coming from you.
これ読んでください。
Mm-hmm. She held it out with both hands as if she was about to hand out a diploma.
どうした？
Why she all she thinks is the love letter.
なんでこのタイミングでほっと？
アララは知っている。これはそのラブ。
違いますから。なんでどうしてその思考？あなたやっぱビアンなの？
なんだ、違うんだ。
Oh shit! Come on, that would have been adorable.
勘弁してくださいよ。せっかく人が勇気振り絞ってるっていうのに。勇気を振り絞ってる。
Oh my gosh.
だから違いますって。
It's kind of amazing these two can even talk to each other.
もうなんで変な方向に恋愛のかな。とにかく開けて、今すぐ開けて読む。
Too bad, Aure. I kind of wish you were sewing that way. It'd be really cute to see you too. Jeez. She opened up the seal with the trembling hands.
これは
ラブレターじゃないでしょ。ただの手紙でもないですけど、一応あなたに宛てたものです。
アララに宛てた手紙。どこからどう見ても 漫画の原稿のように見えるけど
I thought so. I think I mentioned that. Like, wouldn't it be good for her to just convey her feelings in the manga? That's cute.
そりゃ漫画の原稿ですもん。
アララは人に手紙とか書いたことないけれど、これは手紙とは言わないような気がする。
手紙の定義なんて本の虫に食べられちゃえばいいんです。
Bookworm can eat the definition for all I care. I want to keep that phrase. That's hilarious. She lowered her gaze to look over the manuscript, relying only on the city lights, the moon, and the light spilling off from the lodge to read.
やっぱり緊張する。
Yeah, that's kind of the worst, though. Like, that's the biggest downside to, like, giving someone a letter and waiting for the reactions to sit there. It's like, what do I do while they're reading? Because it's like, it's just a 4-page manuscript. But Arara took her time reading it. She finished reading the last page.
なるほど。確かにこれは多分アララにだけは。
She looked down at the manuscript with tenderness in her eyes.
あの日初めて私の原稿を読ませた時、藤崎さん言ってましたよね。
途中で終わってしまっている。続きプリーズ。
本当は続きなんて書くつもりはなかったんですけどね。他に気持ちの伝え方なんて思いつきませんし、形式ばった手紙も散々でしたし。
I feel so much better now.
それでどうでした？
She was reading through the manuscript again. This was the story Aure wrote in the middle of her cursed life. A slice of life story about some girls in a wind ensemble club. The story simply ended with Ayaka hurting Tatsumi. She remembered that Koriro had been curious about whether or not they could make up. And the results of that now rested in Arara's hand.
なんていうか、ベタな展開。
Yeah, of course it is.
そうかもしれませんね。
でも、これを書いたアルエさんの気持ちは伝わる。こうなってほしいっていう気持ちが展開に現れているのだとしたら、なんというか中性的と言っていいかもしれない。
Such an Arara way of doing that.
それはつまり
よかった。
Aww. Her face was bright red. She was grinning from ear to ear.
反対動物。
どうとでも言ってください。今なら許しちゃいます。
Arara was grinning as well.
ところで昨日海ハウスであなたが聞いたこと。今願いが叶うならどうするかって。
ああ、人手のことなら。
What she found.
あの後考えてみたんです。自分なりに。正直に白状するとですね、藤崎さんについた嘘とか無神経なこと言ったりだとか全部帳消しにしたいって思いました。
There you go. That's an apology.
それはまた開き直ったことを。
実を言うと私って昔からそうなんです。辛いことがあるたびに全部消えてなくなれとか、朝起きたら8年くらい前に戻っちゃえとか。
でもそれは現実になった。
Yeah.
巻き戻ったのは時間だけですけどね。
Doesn't change anything.
意味がないと思いました。肝心なのは時間じゃなくて心の方なのに。だって時間だけ戻っても何も解決しないじゃないですか。だから今度はタイムリープじゃなくて心を戻したいって。けどそうならなくてよかったです。そもそも個人の心の持ち方一つで世界や他人をどうこうしちゃいけません。そんなの怖いですよ。やる方もやられる方も。
And that's a perfect summary of Steins Gate. It's not right for someone to change the world and its people on a whim, and it's scary for both the person doing it and the person being changed. It's terrifying.
それに仲直りする喜びもないわけですしね。さあ、私のみそぎは終わりました。次はあなたの番ですよ。
あらら。
It's true. She really didn't do anything.
しましたとも。私、あなたに数々の恥ずかしめを受けました。これを機に賠償してもらわないと留飲が下がりませんね。
Arara, it's like you learn and you don't.
心当たりはないが、今日のアルエさんは手強い。
弱体化している隙に攻め込むのは兵法の定石ですよ、藤崎さん。
と言われても、アルエさんへのみそぎ。
Yes.
それですよ、藤崎さん。
Could this be what I've been hoping for?
なんというか、呼び方です。アルエさんとか最初はそうやって呼んでなかったじゃないですか。
だって嫌かと思って。
世界統括者関連を信じてないって言ったから？
She nodded.
まあ、正直そのことについては後々協議の必要があるとは思いますが、呼び名についてはあだ名みたいなものというか。
So sweet. Actually, she wants to have a meeting about the world dominator. A nickname. Indeed, Aure had a certain kind of fascination with nicknames. Ever since she applied nicknames to her imaginary friend.
あだ名。
そうです。あだ名ならセーフです。だから、また呼んでくださいよ。同胞って。
同胞。
だからって大声で連呼しないで。本物の同胞になるかはまだまだ話し合いが足りないんですからね。
だってあららだって少しだけほんのちょびっとだけ活動に身が入らなかったという。
Oh, snap.
そうは見えなかったですけど。
黙る。同胞こそあららのことを。
あだ名で呼べと？
Oh, fetch. Not. Looked almost like she was headbanging.
あだ名ですか。センスなくてもいいなら。
Her eyes were full of expectation.
じゃあ、中卒勇者で。
却下する。考え直しを要求する。
シンプルにサイコさん。
なんで同胞はもっとこう。
She made an over-exaggerated hand gestures.
だって中二病的なやつとか思いつきませんもん。
そういうのでもなく。
もしかして可愛い感じをご所望ですか
Arara huddled up on the spot.
女の子ですね、あなたも。
Yes.
それじゃあ。
What on earth is gonna be? I have no idea.
ララちゃんとかどうです？
ララちゃん。
Yeah, that will take that as a yes.
要求しといてちゃっか？
許可する。ララちゃん、許可する。
なんか名付け親の私が恥ずかしくなりますね。そのリアクション。
This has been adorable. I love it. The two girls had no end to their chatter. The moon floated overhead as if to watch over them. The waves of the sea lazily repeated the same old movements. At times, as if suddenly remembering to do so, a flash of light would reflect on the water's surface. It was nighttime.
同胞が再びパーティーの一員になった今、世界旧世団に資格なし。
だからその無駄に壮大な軍団に入るか否かは別ですってば。それに同胞って呼んでくださいっていうのはつまりですね。
Yes.
つまり
Friend? Come on. Yes!
あなたと
Yes!
友達になりたいんです。
友達？
不服ですか？こんな私じゃ。
そうではなく、
She wants the big boy?
アララには
Aww.
友達がいたことがない。だからどうしていいか。
安心してください。私もですから。
フレンド初心者、
ズブのど素人です。
トウシロ同士が友達なんてこ
Aww.
れから大変そうです。
This is so freaking cute.
それはそれで未知への希望があっていいじゃないですか。
Oh dear.
同胞、ハンカチ。
ありがとうございます。
Aww. After that, they stayed silent for a long time, with the starlight in the sky as their background. Their happiness had gone beyond sound and turned into silence. And then, in a voice faint enough to barely be audible,
同胞の足にへばりついてたクリーチャーに、今宵ばかりは救世主の感謝。
aww. And there was that weird creepy hand thing, whatever it was. At the beach in the morning, though they were away from home and today was their assigned deadline, Kotaro didn't slack off in her daily routine. Before packing up her things, she went out for a quick run. As she did, she saw something up on the seawall. Did they stay up there the whole night? It looked suspicious. She approached it and had a look. It was a dismembered human hand.
わかった。これが願いを叶える人だ。
Sure. For some reason, she was quick to understand.
昨日あれだけ探して見つからなかったのに、なんでこんなところに？
She tilted her head.
何をお願いしようかな。
It didn't take long for her to switch gears.
お米券？
Are you serious? She could eat as much white rice as she wanted. And then... Oh, young lady! Did you find the wish-granting starfish?
おはようございます。
Val.
お米券お願いするんだ。
What? Go away, Steam? I don't care if my friends are unreachable at the moment. I think maybe my internet just died on me. I don't know. That was really weird. I've never seen that before. The legend sure made it far. You see, I came up with that legend to attract new customers.
おじさん、嘘つきなの？
Businessmen will lie when there are profits to be had, didn't you know?
そうなんだ。でも、それじゃあ、この人では。
Food?
美味しくなさそう。
Yeah, it's weird. When you dropped on your head, give it a try. It's sweet and tender. It tastes real nice when you fry it in soy sauce. What the fetch? You want to come eat it with me? Fetch! Girl! You're getting in trouble!
地元に帰ってくると、
I got an achievement.
なんか落ち着くね。どうしたの？二人とも、さっきか
I
ら。
think they just stayed up all night.
小色さんが朝から変なもの食べさせるからですよ。
Oh no.
やはりあの海坊主、自殺の必要がある。
あるえ、今私のこと。
呼び方なんて気にしないで行きましょ
どうもう少しゆっく
Ugh.
り。まだ爪の部分が。
Gross.
う。早くしないと課題に間に合いませんよ、ララちゃん。
Aw, it's so cute. She smiled, then stopped in her tracks after seeing someone in front of them.
二人とも、ちょっとそこで待って
Didn't mean
て。
that Kokoro?
すぐ。
Oh, it's these two.
それじゃ、昨日ユングが見た夢は大雨に降られる夢。
風もありえないくらいすごくて大変だったんですよ。
ところでユングは雨から何を連想する
Jeez,
かし
these
ら。
two. Good
パッと
grief.
答えて。
雨から連想。
傘からは何を連想するかしら。
Uh-huh.
レインコートですかね。
同じように連想していきましょう。
レインコート、長靴、靴下、上履き、下駄箱、ラブレター、お姉様。
私から 何を連想する？
ふくよか。お胸です。
I'm glad they're subtle, you know, because subtlety is a fine art.
大きなおっぱい。そう。つまりあなたが見た夢、すなわちリビドーは私のおっぱいが根源となっていることが分かったわ。
Sure, sure.
強引じゃないですか？
Yeah, Miss Forceful Psychologist.
あら、本当にそうかしら。ユング、寝る前に何を考えていて？
Jeez.
あ、
Oh, out she goes.
もうあれわいせつ系統の罪に処せないもんですか？
Pretending not to see. Grab. Handshake.
その説はどうもありがとう。
あなたは。
Here comes the bite. Chop.
ガブガブガブ。
いった
ユング、噛むなら私の先端部分にしなさい。甘噛みじゃないと。
Seriously, you two. Oh my gosh.
お達者で。
She waved at them and left.
なんなんですかあいつ。次に会ったら絶対喉笛に噛みついてやる。
Jeez.
それはおやめなさい。ただでさえギリギリなのよ。それにしてもあの子たち
She gazed at the backs of the three chatting girls as they walked away.
仲良し。
I hope so. I want them to freaking pass the test.
お姉さんたち、
Hey,
お
Kokoro.
帰りですよ。
よかった。ココロ、学校から帰ってたんだね。
なんですよ。
これお土産です。ココロちゃんだけお留守番だったから。
She handed over a souvenir.
うん。どうもですよ。
She seemed to be in low spirits for some reason.
せっかくの土産だ。キッズらしく、もっとあざとく喜ぶがいい。
ナラちゃん、どうしてあなたはそんな態度を取るんですか？言っときますけど、社会的にはココロちゃんのがランクが上なんですからね。
あるね。そんなに怒らないであげて。
小色さんもララちゃんを甘やかしすぎですよ。
I love how she uses Rara. Chitter, chitter. Chitter, chatter. Clatter, clatter. Wait, what?
それじゃ、どうもですよ。
She tried to close the door.
ちょっと待って、ココロ。
ん？
なんだかお酒の匂いがするけど、誰か来てるの？
気のせいですよ。
What? She closed the door.
どうしたんです？課題の時間に遅れちゃうと容赦なく締め切りますよ、あのド金髪。
うん。今行く。
What is going on with Kokoro? Like, she's just weird. She shook her head from side to side, as if to shake away some dizziness.
中卒。
What Arara had caught was Kokoro's treasure. The glass bead was black and cloudy. What? Oh, so it's that gem thing. What is that? In the living room, a few minutes before the time limit. They only had 10 minutes to discuss things. They didn't have any answers. However,
では、泣いても笑っても、これがラストチャレンジっすよ。
the three of them looked at each other. They all nodded in unison. They felt a change, a synchronization. Unlike a week ago, they now felt it from the bottom of their hearts. They managed to become genuine friends. Aure accepted Arara. Arara forgave Aure. Kodiro supported the two of them from the sidelines. All of them shared this truth, as well as the feelings associated with it. They now shared more than just a room. However, precisely because of that...
これに失敗したら
もし。
二人と離れ離れになる。
Wait, the two of us? Arara. She really likes her.
この楽しい生活が終わっちゃう。
Wait, fun? Happiness? They couldn't press the proposition button. They couldn't start.
どうしたんすか？
そんなの。
そんなことは。
Beyond unbearable. That instant. Synchronization confirmed. Yes! Engage soul link system. Okay. Oh, here they go again. The surroundings became sheathed in white.
これって
あの時と。
まさかまた。
And seriously, the place inside the train station again. Fetch. God, they need to answer the question before they hit synchronization. Jeez, this will never end. The time 7:55 a.m. The rush hour train slipped past the platforms. Men and women in suits burst out as water did when someone removed the finger from the mouth of a faucet. There it was, a surge of people, a bustling whirlpool of civilization, and a young girl calmly walked through it all. She checked on her smartphone. When she connected to Tweenter, she found that her account was gone.
やっぱり戻ってる。
Well, fetch. The 1 week prior, this was her second time leave.
そっか。また時をかけたわけね。
She didn't panic. She was calm. No, that wasn't quite the right word. Rather,
早く会いに行こう。
yeah.
小色さんとララちゃんに。
Arara had obtained freedom. This was something mankind had tried desperately and in vain to achieve. Release from the finite nature of time. Could this grant everyone's wishes? It depended on the strength of one's will. Indeed, it all depended on their willpower. Hope could also be transformed into despair. Oh, fetch! Don't do that to me! But to put it bluntly, this was this single repeating week, during which Arara, who philosophized about freedom in her own Chuusotsu way, and obtained the irreplaceable entities known as friends. This was Minasugawa Arara's true beginning. Interesting. So I wonder what's going to happen.
中卒？
Aww. Well, fetch, man. So maybe this time they'll actually be able to figure it out. Proposition 4, synchronization. Alright, well, I think that's a good place for us to stop. It's a little shorter than I thought it was going to be, but I can't get better than that. So, this is the true beginning of her being able to climb out and become something different. Finally. Oh, there we go. So, now we get to see what happens when the three of them finally united in friendship and forgiveness can move forward and potentially actually solve problems outside of themselves. So we'll have to figure out what that's all about. But you know what? Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's a smaller series, but I'm very grateful for every time you guys come by and spend it with me, and love to hear your thoughts about this one. I think there's a lot of real big powerful truths that we got to witness, and I'm really happy they finally got to sit and just talk. I mean, there's a funky, random way that it came about, but all in all, it was exactly what I was hoping for, so I'm really happy about that. And I guess we'll have to see if their relationship can actually become something more. Arara is really starting to get attached to Aure, like, really attached. So I wonder if Arara will ever reciprocate, or if she's just not going to feel that way. Because that's got to be a very hard situation. Like falling in, if you fell in love with somebody who just could not or would not reciprocate those feelings, that could be really, really painful to go through. I hope they don't have to, but at the rate they're going, like it's something's got to give. One of the two, but we'll find out. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for spending your time with me on the channel. It's just a pleasure to have you, and I hope to see you again soon. So until the next video, watching me, whatever to see me in next, I'll see you there.